Okay.
I'll wait till it tells you you're live. Oh, my microphone is way too far away. I told myself I was going to drink water this podcast instead of pop, and I have failed my mission.
Oh, you go to Culver's today?
We did, yeah. Yep, and then we walked around Target.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lady in your life, that's where you're going to be going, right? Target.
Well, it's a good place to go if you don't have a lady in your life.
Oh, you're trying to find a lady?
Some really attractive ladies in Target.
That's the basic bitch store right there.
That's kind of what I go for.
Okay, well, there you go. You're in the perfect spot. Especially when a Target like ours has a Starbucks in it. I mean,
Exactly.
You can't go
That's
wrong.
what I'm saying. All right, we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
That's the place to go. I should have tested. I did test the camera, but we'll just turn it on. I should, gather my thought. I have nothing in my head right now. I'm going to turn that camera on, and I'll...
This is perfect, yeah.
All right.
Zero intentions.
Yeah, there
we got nothing.
I've literally got nothing, so let's just turn the camera on, and it's a black screen.
Awesome.
There it goes. That was a weird delay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Zero Intentions Podcast, Zip, episode 22.
Man.
Kyle, Grogu, the small green one.
That's, yeah.
And that's Jeremiah.
Right?
And that's it.
Did we have him on stream last week? I don't remember.
He might have been pushed back there a little bit.
Sorry, we...
He was on vacation, yeah. He was on quarantine. We quarantined him.
Right?
Well, actually, you know what? We could probably tell people. It's aired. He was on the new, the Boba Fett. He was filming for that.
That's
we
right.
didn't want to ruin it.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks way different on those cameras, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, he wanted to show his true
cameras,
self. He wanted to show him true self. He's doctored up in those.
Sure.
So you don't want to.
Yeah.
He's not a Kardashian, all right?
Right.
He likes to show his true self every now and then.
Yeah.
He's way.
I haven't watched that show, so
it's worth it for the last 2 episodes.
I heard that it kind of felt like 2 different shows.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, because the first half is, and then it just feels like a Mandalorian season 3.
That's what I heard. Is that actually 2 of the episodes were supposed to be in the Mandalorian?
Oh, that makes sense because it felt like I was watching Mandalorian.
Okay.
Because you're almost. My memory's not great, but there might be 2 full episodes of, or at least 1 full of no Boba. It's almost exclusively Mandalorian.
Here's my show, but I'm gonna take a break from this episode.
There's only so much you can do.
I'll check this out. Okay. All right. So the reason I had to do that was because last week my microphone was really loud. So I apologize for blowing out your eardrums, everyone, last week. I may have accidentally bumped my gain.
He bumped it. He doesn't like me talking, folks. He wanted to be louder.
Exactly. Yep. It's like I'm sick of Kyle getting top billing here. I gotta.
You pulled that Howard Stern move where he cranks his gain up just a tiny bit. So anyone else talking in the studio when they're arguing, you always hear.
See, that's
Mr.
why
Stern.
we need people in chat to
tell us
those things. Yeah, we can change things on the fly. It's not like we're doing some kind of produced show here.
It will send Grogu to change our levels. It's not right in front of us.
Yeah.
Ignore. This is all for show.
Right. We're training him to be a producer, but he's not good yet. He gets too distracted.
We need to make it really big and then hire a producer and make him wear a Grogu costume the whole time. Like full on silicone mask Grogu and just make him.
There you go. Yep. Crazy.
Yeah, we need a bet.
Yeah.
Soundproofing. All right, Jeremiah, kick it. We're getting in deep here, and we got nowhere.
So I mean, I was trying to think of kicking off points, and
you have one?
Nothing. That is stream appropriate, I guess. So.
Stream appropriate.
Well, I mean, because really things that I've been consuming I've been consuming a lot of Elden Ring lately.
It's cocaine.
Yeah.
It's cocaine.
Outside of that, as far as what's going on in the world, just not I haven't really been into a ton of craziness, but we talked about it last week about the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. So
I can talk about that. I got a story about that, unless you got something.
You got another story?
It's a personal story about it.
Oh, well, that's up to you. I don't.
Well, I'll share it. It's hilarious.
Yeah?
So
okay.
I don't share a lot on Facebook, if anything, and I definitely don't get political. But
I never get political.
Have you seen there's a picture. It's really old. There's a picture of a UFO coming over trees, and it says, "I want to believe." Yeah. So like that stereotypic. Someone photoshopped the UFO out and put the fighter jet, the ghost of whatever, I can't pronounce the word, in there. And I thought that was cool because it's like whether the ace pilot's real or not, like the I want to believe. So I thought that was cool. So I'm like, I'll just share it. It's funny. I'm a UFO guy. It's that.
Yeah.
And so I share.
Seems like a very dangerous thing to post, a hot take.
Right. And I see, to me, it was like,
because they're very passionate people about, everyone has an opinion.
See, to me, it didn't seem
they're all
like
different opinions.
It wasn't like a hot take because it's like, real or not, the thing is like, you want to believe there's a new ace pilot.
But see, that's the thing is like you had to consider like typical Facebook user base,
and that's where I'm getting to. Yeah,
you post something like that, you mean it as like, hey, there's a modern day ace.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm thinking.
As like, like I'm supporting one side over the other. So
I am supporting one side over the other for sure, but that's not how it was meant. Yeah. So anyway, I put that up, and no one comments on it other than Joy says no, but I made her delete it because she didn't understand. Like she thought it was just an alien thing. It was being funny. I was like, hey.
Yeah, I did see. I got a notification that said that she left a comment.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. I'm like, okay, she must have deleted it.
Well, yeah, she just put no, and I was like, look, you should understand what this is before you just publicly throw a no.
You should have added a comment saying this is what I mean.
See, my whole thing was I wanted to share it for people that understand the UFO reference and the plane. Because if you're not following a new ace fighter, it means nothing to you.
Yeah.
And then if you do, that's who I'm catering to.
Okay.
Like your family friend Timmy knows what I'm talking about. My buddy Graham, they like it because they're like, cool, I understand it. But I get a message from my grandma, stereotypic Facebook grandma, and she sends me this video, and I click it, and it's just a guy sitting in his car going on a rant. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Love car rants.
Yeah, so I click off of it, and she sends me a message, and she's like, please watch the whole thing. I was like, fine, I'm gonna watch it. This dude goes on a rant for 19 minutes and like 40 seconds, and he starts off about how the war is all BS started by the United States, and I'm like, this guy's already wrong. We're not even involved in this conflict at all. Then he's going on about how it's about the Rothschilds bank is involved, and how Russia is the only country with no central banking. So I'm like, this is all wrong. Nothing he's saying is true so far. So I send back a long message. I'm like, first of all, Russia has a centralized bank called Russia Centralized Bank. I'm like, Rothschild has a headquarters in Russia. So his whole theory is wrong. So I just sent back all this. And I thought it was going to be a fight with my grandma. But she's like, oh, I didn't know all that. I won't share this with people. And I was like, wow, that's good. But I'm like, how many
good on your grandma. I'm
like, how many people have you shared with that just accept a random guy, no credentials, no name?
Exactly. So here's the thing. Like I am saddened by the fact that most people don't do that.
Don't look into it at all.
Presented with, information, they don't change their, perspective or can even admit that,
they were wrong or duped
or uninformed about other topics. So, not to say that, that when every time that happens, it's, you're given the correct information during the correction, but at the same time, it's like, you're given new information that you were unaware of previously. You need to then take the time
to look into it.
Yes, to critically analyze that new information against the information you had previously, and then say, okay, where is the truth in here?
Yeah, I was shocked that she so I didn't go into depth. It wasn't like I watched his video and refuted every point. I just his main points for his whole argument against this whole thing. And one of them was like, all of the media coverage is fake. There's no bombs being dropped. And so I let her know.
So I did watch that video because you sent it to me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot to respond because I did watch the whole thing.
I did too.
So yeah,
it's rough, right?
It's like a lot like our podcast in that it weaves
everywhere
through a bunch of stuff. But it's like, whoa, man. It's like you're just like, to your point, you're throwing a lot of stuff out there as facts without any proof.
And you don't know who the guy is. He has no credentials. Yep. He's a guy in a T-shirt in his car.
I'm missing all the explanation. It's like, why is this true? Like, why? Like, where's your proof that this is what you say it is. But the one thing I was gonna comment back to you and I forgot to was, he lost me completely on everything when he said, I'm gonna go get a protein smoothie and go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have never had protein in your life, man.
Right.
It's like, it's a lie.
Yeah, his whole like, I could see starting off when he was like, the media footage is fake, because as everyone knows, media uses a lot of stock photos and stuff just for their headline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes they try and pass it off as real. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I know a guy that's over there right now, not with the war. He's a U.S. citizen. There's videos of missiles flying over his hotel, just from his phone. And I was like, so we know for a fact there's actually bombs being dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no... I mean, at least she changed her tune right away. I did let her know. I was like, I mean, I agree with him that he's against the Rothschilds. They do own a lot of the banking. It's very strange that one family owns so much. But I was like, they're not staging World War III over banking.
Right.
So, but I feel the same about media.
So that actually, Ben was putting together my taxes, and that's one of the questions that came up was, if you own any cryptocurrency or if you've, sold any cryptocurrency.
The answer is no.
So.
Well, unless you probably have to say yes.
Well, I haven't sold any, and I've never been paid in any. So.
Okay. But correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure now you need to identify yourself when you're buying crypto, right?
Oh, I do. I use a U.S.-based company buying with USD.
Right. When I originally bought
I actually had to verify my identity.
Yeah, back in the day, you did not have to.
Yeah.
There was no... Like, I have my one wallet that I recovered, which we talked about in the old podcasts. There's nothing linked to that. There's no name. Yeah. There's no address.
You don't know who owns this. Yeah, no, it's.
I used
my ID's linked to it, so.
I used a Tor email when I made it.
Oh yeah.
And then Tor email has nothing linked. So when I first bought Bitcoin, there was nothing.
Yeah.
You just I bought it on, what is it? The Onion browser or Tor browser. Like there's no way they could have linked it to anything. I was on a public Wi-Fi on a school laptop. So it's like there's nothing possibly linked to you. And now I think you do need Social Security or...
Yes.
Yeah. So they really cracked down on that quickly.
Right.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people like me, but billionaires that own a lot of Bitcoin that are tracked to nothing.
Right.
It's just a wallet ID.
Yeah.
I wonder if you try and bring that to a new company, if they make you verify it. Like if your old wallet, you want to put it in something more secure. I wonder when you're creating an account and merging them, I wonder if they make you.
I'm not sure. I haven't run into that yet. So because I don't use my own wallet. I use, just storing it with this company. So.
Right. Yeah. You don't have it actually on your hard drive or anything.
No.
Yeah, my buddy Nick has some on his old hard drive somewhere.
Yeah.
But who knows? There could have been maintenance fees with whatever. I don't know how that works if you take it offline, store it on your hard drive.
So basically, you're withdrawing.
So nothing could happen to it.
Yeah, there are fees.
Oh, there are
involved. Yeah.
When you take it out, but not consistently, right? Over the years.
I'm not sure. I guess it depends on where you have it stored.
Yeah.
So. But
anyway, yeah. So that was it. That was my Ukraine-Russia story. It was just, I thought it was going to be a fight with my grandma, which I don't want to fight with anyone about politics.
I mean, that's a big reason why I don't use Facebook anymore is, I don't like the fact that you are missing, a lot of crucial communication with just posting just short little.
Right.
Especially with Twitter. Like, Twitter's the worst.
Oh, I would never use Twitter.
So easy for people to apply their own views, their own perspective to what you just typed out and posted, not what you meant at all.
It's so easy to get in fights with. Yeah, I was going to say there's a fight with no substance.
Yeah.
They're just throwing things out there.
No, you're just misunderstanding me.
Yeah.
So just calm down a minute.
I really gave up.
Let's
like 5 years ago, I think. 6 years ago, it was that whole thing where you take anything for truth. There was an article, and it was like, Florida is now going to drug test welfare, or Florida drug test welfare users, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And there was like, every one of my friends was sharing it, and putting in their own comment like, thank God, finally. And so I clicked the article and read it, and it's a whole thing about how Florida's not going to do it because someone like Minnesota did it and lost money. They drug tested every user, and the amount that they found versus the amount that weren't, it was just a huge money loss.
Yeah.
Because the few they caught, they're cut off, but it still costs more.
We've talked about this before, in that, you're always going to have people that abuse the system.
Right.
There's no getting around that. There are people, like countless people with no morals out there that will do whatever they want. But, to waste time and effort and resources in trying to stop those people, it's like...
That's what was funny. The people were sharing this, and I was getting in so many fights going to everyone I can find saying, please just read the article you're sharing. Like, your comment makes no sense in context to what you're sharing.
So I was constantly getting into debates at my old job about that. Like, we had, like one incident, and then because of that one incident, trying to create a whole new rule for the whole
thing.
Yeah, the whole club. It's like, whoa, like this one person, who you perceive as abusing the system, is not indicative of our entire, 8,000 members. Okay,
that's a lot.
So yeah,
that's crazy.
Like, but you're writing a new rule to
do it as if everyone's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That accuses 7,999 people of something they never did. So, like, whoa, like let's just calm down here. Like, we can have a conversation with this one person and say, hey, knock it off.
Right.
And then that's the end of it. But they didn't want to have that conversation. They just want to create a rule.
Yeah, so they don't have to deal with confrontation.
That person to follow it. It's like, they're not going to know about it.
Right.
And even if they do see it, they're not going to care. Like, oh, they're not talking about me.
Well, that's the thing we have a rule against murdering people, and we still murder people.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Without talking bad or sharing work secrets at work, I created a new process. You know about it.
Yeah.
And so far, this process has worked 175 times, let's say. Mm-hmm. One didn't work properly, and one person wants to throw out the whole thing.
Yeah.
For one, like, you have one problem, they're like, let's just throw it away. It's like, it's not benefiting the other few thousand people that are using it properly. It's like, it doesn't work the one time you want it, and your idea is just to trash it.
Right.
That's so crazy. It's exactly like what you're saying. Like, we had one problem, instead of discussing it and fixing it, we'll just make a rule. You can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Right. Oh man, I can't think of the acronym right now, but it's perfect. It's something used in IT. Basically means user error. But it's like, problem exists between keyboard and monitor or something.
Oh, okay.
That. And yeah.
Did I tell a story on here on my IT support with my internet when we moved into this house? Did I ever tell you that story?
I don't know.
Well,
I have a terrible memory, so maybe you did.
Well, no one's in the chat, so they're not telling me. So I'm a pretty technology guy. I'm pretty savvy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
We move in this house, and I can't get my modem to connect. Paying for internet, can't get the modem to connect. I own my own modem, so I don't need them to come set it up. So I do support chat, and they're like, well, we'll have someone come out. And it was like the next day. I was like, well, I want internet tonight. So I call, and I'm talking to the lady, and I'm like, hey, you say I have internet. I plug my modem in. I've tried 6 different outlets in my house, and I'm not getting, like, the internet's not coming through modem. She's like, okay. And so we're working through it and everything, and she's like, well, try another one. And I finally make it down to the room we're in now. I got it plugged in. And she's like, well, I can have someone come out tonight and look at it. And I'm like, okay, just schedule it for me. It's in like 3 hours. I'm like, that'll work. Please. Thank you. So she schedules it. And as she's done scheduling it, I was like, remember how you told me to make sure it's plugged into the wall? It's not plugged into the wall. And she's like, would you like me to cancel the call? And I was like, yes.
No, keep the call. I want someone to talk to about this. Like, can you believe what I just did?
So it wasn't 100% my fault. That scenario was like my finally giving up. What it was when you build a house, or when someone builds your house, you have your internet coming from your coax coming from the ground, and it usually goes into a splitter in your attic or your garage, and that splitter goes through all the walls to each outlet. The moron or the uninformed gentleman that lived here before me was like, I don't need that splitter. I don't need the walls. I'm just going to run one line across the whole outside of the house, drill a hole through the wall, and only have one outlet. Didn't even bury the line. So this outlet over here was the only one that would work in my house.
Wow.
And I couldn't think of a good reason for him to do that. So after I found out that, when I went outside, I just put the splitter back in. So now all of the ports work. But I was like, who does that? I mean, maybe there wasn't one here and he wanted it right there on the wall.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's why possible. He ran it. That's why he ran it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a very shitty install way. Didn't even bury the cord. So there's literally just like a 200-foot Ethernet cable running.
Right. I mean, because that thing, like if
coaxial.
You have a room that doesn't have the coax cord in it, then having someone to come out and run a line is like a chain, and they might charge you for it too.
It's just weird that he didn't keep the splitter too. Like he still had it out there. He literally just cut all of the lines. I don't know why. Really? It took me like 10 minutes to reinstall it, so all of the rooms, including the room he added, has it. I just needed a splitter with one more, coax
port on it.
Well,
they didn't sell those at that time.
I guess not.
Oh.
I guess not. But yeah, that was my user error problem. The last one I checked, the one that would have worked, and when I plugged it in, it did work because it was this one, but she was just, you could hear the defeat after our 30-minute call. She's like, okay, it's not plugged in. Do you want me to cancel? And there's no arguing. There's no way I could be like, look, no, I know technology. I promise.
Right?
There's no way
I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot, okay?
She knows. And she's going to say that at the coffee machine or the water tank. She's going to be like, this guy was on the phone with me for 40 minutes. Just didn't plug it in.
Yeah. I can't tell you the number of times I've done something dumb like that, though, with especially at work where I'm like, hey, here's a problem. Oh, wait, never mind. Look, I was looking at it wrong. An idiot.
I've done that a few times.
I was getting ready to throw up all kinds of red flags and be like...
Or when you just don't wait long enough, there's times where I'm like, this isn't working. I have a superior look at it. Clicks the same button I did and it works. I'm like, I don't know. Right. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't do anything different than me. And it just happened.
Right.
Like maybe it was a timing issue. I don't know.
It's like, well, you're not an idiot like me. So
right.
That could explain it.
It's the same when you're a kid and you like learn a magic trick or something on your bike and you're doing it all by yourself and you're like, come watch this, and you just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone's watching and you're like, I swear this works.
Right.
I've done it a million times. Just not with you here, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So I get that though. I can't stand like I can't type anymore when people are watching.
Really?
Like I can type, very fast on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But if people are watching me, make all kinds of errors. Yeah.
For me, it's reading out loud.
Serious?
Like I can read. All my reading was in school way off, the chart, like 2 or 3 levels above. I can read books really fast, but as soon as you get called on in class, I'm like stumbling over my words. I have to use a finger.
Wow.
It's just something about everyone listening to you read off a page. I'm like, I go back to like first grade where I'm like, yes, that's the to tank.
What's to hay?
Yeah.
What is to hay? What? Who wrote this? Why is there a typo in this book?
Or math. If you ask me a math, like if I got to do a math problem, I'm building something, I can do it in my head or use a calculator. If you ask me like, hey, real quick, what's this minus this? My brain's just like, poof. We don't know. What's math?
What is math? What are numbers?
We can't do those.
Yeah.
So I always just guess. Like, me and Joy will be driving. She's like, hey, what's 120 minus this? I'm like, I just throw a number out that's
exactly.
close. That's close.
It's like, there was a joke. I don't know who did it, but that was the joke. They're like, they're like,
Oh, in an interview. Yeah, it's an interview. Like you can do I'm really fast at math. And they're like, okay, well, what's 10 times 40? And they're like, 16. Like, that's not right. They're like, I didn't say I was correct. I said I was fast at math.
Sounds like something that what's his name? Bobby do.
Bobby?
Yeah,
who's Bobby? Is it just like
Bobby something? What's his last name? Why can't I think of his name?
Where's he from?
From Mad TV.
Oh, I don't know. Is it the Korean Bobby, like Bobby Lee?
There you go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The name was too short. I can't remember your last.
He's
name.
a hilarious character, and I watch him on interviews sometimes, and I can't tell. Like he'll either pretend to be offended.
He'll say the most ridiculous things,
Have you ever seen him like pretend to be offended, and I can't tell if he's actually offended or not? Right. And I'm like, I really can't tell. Yeah. He's so good at it.
He's one of those guys that like, if it's only funny to him, it's still funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'll keep it going for so long. I watched him where he was like, no, that's offensive, man. He's like, I had a rough childhood. And he goes on for so long to where I'm like, at first I think he's kidding, then I'm believing him like, oh, this has gone so wrong.
Well,
and
then that's fun.
And then he laughs.
To watch you squirm. Yeah.
Did you watch The Cabin? I think it was Bert Kreischer's show.
I didn't know.
Bobby was on, and it was funny because they show up early, and Bert's doing like a album cover or something where he's laying naked on a bear rug. And Bobby shows up and he's like, oh, I'll do it. And he just starts taking his clothes off and getting in there and cuddling with Bert. And it's like, jeez. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, Bobby Lee. Does he stand up then?
I don't know if he does. He has a podcast.
Does he?
Called Tiger Belly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's got his like niece or something, right?
No, that's his girlfriend.
That's his girlfriend?
Yeah.
That younger girl?
Yeah.
What? And they're always ripping on her. Who does he do that with?
What?
No, I'm thinking
it's he and his girlfriend is on Tiger Belly.
No, there's another one. He does it with the redhead from the show, Dave.
Oh, then no, this is.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what her name is, but yeah.
Let me look. Tiger Belly. Yeah. Okay, that's with his girlfriend. What's the?
Kayla, I think is.
Yeah, that's not the girl I'm talking about. Let me see. Have you ever seen the show, Dave?
No.
It's good. It's good. It's really funny. So the guy in it, Andrew Santino.
Now this is describing it. His best friend. I thought.
The podcast I'm thinking of, it's called Whiskey Ginger.
Yeah.
With Andrew Santini. But I thought Bobby Lee was on that. Maybe it was just an episode with Bobby Lee.
Yeah. So, speaking of podcasts, I guess there's some current controversy going on around Brendan
Schaub.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, God, I don't like him.
So
I don't like him.
He is got a small YouTuber's channel just nuked.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The best thing about him is whenever he was on the Joe Rogan, when I used to listen, everyone just talked shit about him and everything they said was true.
Yeah.
He's always like, be like, oh man, I love peanut butter, and Joe's like, oh, I don't like peanut butter. He's like, yeah, no, fuck that. It's like every time without fail. He's
I
like,
never liked peanut butter.
Yeah, it's exactly what he says.
Oh, great! Now we're gonna get sued.
Oh, is he gonna come after us?
He's a very sensitive.
Oh, he's a sensitive little boy.
Guy. Yep. He can dish it out because that's all he does is make fun of people, in their videos. But
oh man, Schaub, if you come after us, Schaub, I'm getting Bobby Lee. I don't care how much it costs. I'm gonna send Bobby Lee after you like a little dog to attack you. Schaub was a fighter, right?
Yeah, he used to be. Yeah.
And then he really just got known probably from Joe Rogan, right? That's how he got a podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like he never added anything. Like my favorite Joe Rogans were when they were all there, when you had Tom there and you had Bill Burr, the other guy, who I can't remember, and Joe, because it's like a bunch of guys hanging out. And that's what I thought was funny.
Yeah.
It felt like they had zero intentions why we made this zero intentions.
Right.
There's bullshitting, and I liked that.
Right. Yeah.
But Brendan Schaub never really contribute. It's just like a yes guy or go with the like. He was never taking a hard stance against anyone.
Right.
Like if he said he liked peanut butter and everyone said no, he wasn't defending it. He was just like, oh yeah, you're right. Nah, I never liked it. Peanut what? I don't know nothing about that. What YouTube channel did he get nuked? What happened?
I don't remember the name of it.
Just make it up.
One.
What happened? They had a small YouTube channel. What happened?
Yeah. So he's posting videos about Brendan and making fun of him. And being like, I think he showed like he may have showed the clip of him, trying to give his number to a girl, that kind of stuff. So yeah,
just commenting on making fun of it.
Yeah, just again, fair use type of stuff. Commentary.
We'd be so screwed. I've talked shit about so many people on this podcast.
Right. So, but then Brendan had those videos copyright struck.
Oh, even though it was fair use?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's
right.
shitty.
And then, so the YouTuber, submitted a rebuttal or whatever. And so at that point, then the original copyright strike person can either remove the strike or file a lawsuit.
Okay.
Which is what he decided to do.
File a lawsuit.
Yes.
And I haven't seen this, but I have to assume this person's playing clips and talking about it.
As far as I understand it.
Yes. Which is legal.
Yeah.
As long as you're adding something, you can't just steal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's shady to just go after someone like that.
Yep. Yeah. So, and it's one of those things like, like more well known, abuse of power type of stuff. Like this is a small YouTube channel. Like they're not on the same level.
Right.
So,
and they're adding something, and that's even farther. I know people that do guitar covers that have the song playing in the background, but it's all about them playing it, and they don't get copyrights, but they get demonetized.
Yeah.
And even I don't think that's right because they're not stealing anything. Yeah. They're producing content.
Right.
Or even the training they're showing
There's
you how to.
There's a lot of stuff, especially about YouTube, that is very broken, but it's all done to protect YouTube.
Right.
So
and
they don't want to get sued.
I know
for
anything. Music, it's a big company. It's Universal or
which
the record label comes down.
So like at a certain point, like they are they do need to protect their own assets. They're putting they're actually losing money by having YouTube. So it doesn't it still belongs to them, but they do rely on the community to bring people in and actually watch these videos.
Right, and I feel like
so to do more things that will tick off the community, push them out, drive them to other platforms is not smart.
No.
So you're trying to protect yourself, to protect
even
your
on
assets.
YouTube. I think
you're losing it.
It's against
the more
Brendan
you try
Schaub.
and hold on to it, the more you're going to lose it. So
you called me one day and we talked, and we were talking about supercars, and you watched an Audit the Auditor.
Yeah.
On a channel I watch, Daily Driven Exotics. And he breaks down one of their videos and goes over it. All that makes people want to do is watch the original video.
Yeah, I need more.
From Daily Driven Exotics.
Yeah.
So Daily Driven's not going to go after Audit the Auditor.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like if Brendan Schaub, they're going to hate you anyway, man.
Let me watch this start to finish and see if I walk away with the same perspective
that
you just walked me
through. It's
yeah.
going to bring, if you're using commentary on anyone's thing, like when I see those people react to songs, I don't care. But if it pops up on my For You or whatever you want to call it, and the song clip sounds good, I'm going to stop listening to this dude talk about it, and I'm just going to go watch the song.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear the song.
Exactly.
I feel like it drives more traffic.
I've done that so many times. I literally pause the video before continuing.
Yeah.
Go watch what he's talking about, and then come back.
Yeah. So it makes sense to want to do that. I
feel
like it brings more traffic.
Yeah. So I end up watching 2 videos instead of 1.
I feel
because
like
of commentary. So
the Paul brothers do that. If you just type in Logan or whatever the other Paul is on YouTube, there's millions of videos that aren't theirs. And I saw one of someone talking mad crap about him, and it was an interview, so I went and watched the Paul brothers interview. They're not copy strike because they know you're going to want to go watch the real thing.
Right.
They don't care that these little channels are talking about you. You got them to watch that.
Right.
I don't know how I found out about Daily Driven Exotics. It wasn't the Auditor, but someone else mentioned them in a video or something like that, and I was like, cool, I'll check out their channel. Whatever you're talking about seems interesting. I'd rather just watch the full thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that Audit the Audit guy is good.
Right.
It's good. I like watching his videos.
He does great analysis. Yeah. Really breaks it down.
He does great.
So
they outrage me. Every single one I watch makes me pissed off.
Exactly.
Makes me so mad.
Yeah. I find myself saying over and over and over again, how dare you? How very dare you?
To the officers?
Yeah.
How could you? Yeah, the one in the Daily Driven where he's telling the guy, you need a California license to drive here. And he's like, dude, I live in Canada. Why would I need that?
Well, I'm making up laws out here. That's why.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
That screwed them later because that went to court and they said they were going to throw it out. And they didn't throw it out. But they didn't set a court date, and so it like suspended his international driver's license, and that caused another problem when he got pulled over because it was in the system that he didn't show up for court. Yeah. And he's calling his lawyer on the channel live with the cop there, and he's like, this just should have been thrown out. And of course, it's not the cop's fault. The cop runs your stuff and says that you're not supposed to be driving, and the guy you're pulling over says, no, it's cool. Yeah. You got to trust your system. I mean, that's all you can do. Yeah. If it says you miss court.
Which is super frustrating because
it is.
Because everyone knows the system is horrifically broken. Right. And yet we still have to trust it as if it works correctly.
Right.
So.
Well, and the big problem with the cop system is you can make mistakes. Like that cop has no problem not knowing the law, giving him a ticket for that.
Yeah.
And then it's just, qualified immunity. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
We'll bring you to jail, tow your car. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's our bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's another one of those, abuse of the system type of things right there. Like, there's a reason why qualified immunity should exist for certain things.
Oh, of course.
Not for that. Not for ignorance of the law. If you as a citizen are subject to something like ignorance of the law is not an excuse, then it's not an excuse for police officers.
Right.
Even more so, because you are representing the law.
Yeah.
So you better know it up, down, backwards, and forwards.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the city we live in, I know someone right out of high school, went to high school with him, officer right away, immediately.
Yeah.
I hadn't even gone to my first class in college, uniformed officer. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, and they're out there enforcing laws that they know nothing about.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
I get it if you're a ride-along, because traffic law, speeding, cool, taillight, headlight out, drugs in the car, all that's pretty common sense. But when you get into weird stuff like driver's licenses from another state or someone visiting from Florida, they got tint on their windows, illegal here, legal there. Right. Technically, you can't do it. They have Florida plates, they're visiting. You can't put your law on them for visiting. Yeah. As much as Ohio would like to. Fuck you, Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
They tried getting me for having a radar detector in my car.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Wasn't plugged in. I wasn't using it. He pulled me over for not using my blinker merging onto the expressway at 8 in the morning, which was very weird because the lane just ends into the like I don't know what I need a blinker for. Yeah,
Where am I going?
I don't. So he pulled me over first thing.
Could have gone straight off the road.
Right.
Could have turned right.
First question. He's like, "Were you guys partying all last night?" I was like, "What? It's 8 in the morning. We're literally in the middle of Ohio." I'm like, "No." He's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, we went to a car show yesterday." And then he was like, "Okay, I'll be right back." Takes the information, comes back, and he's like, "Well, I see you got a radar detector. I could write you a ticket for that." I'm like, "Dude, I'm from Michigan. It's not plugged in." He's like, "You could have just unplugged it when I walked up." Like, I could have, but where does that leave us?
Right.
You don't know that I was using it. It's sitting in the middle.
Exactly.
Man, Ohio.
I'm going to start charging you for things you could have done.
Yeah, you could have done.
You could have robbed that bank. You could have shot that person. I'm going to charge you for it.
Yeah, if someone ever said that you could have robbed the bank, I'm going to charge you. I'm like, I'll be right back. Let me go rob that. I'd like to at least...
if you're going to charge me for it, I might as well get something out of it.
Yeah, might as well have some
money.
That's
I was having this conversation before about like we are powerless when a police officer decides they're going to arrest you. That's it. Like,
most lawyers tell you not to fight it.
Exactly. There is no fighting it. Like whether they are 100% in the wrong, like you cannot fight it.
No, you're going. If they want you to go, you're going. End of story.
But tying into what I just said previously, the issue that I have is like they are now arresting you and putting you into a system that is so broken that you will not see justice.
Right.
So to subject yourself to that, I mean, like this is wrong. I should not be arrested right now, but I'm going to be, and then suffer the consequences of that. Of course I don't want to be arrested. Like, you expect me to not protest and say what you're doing is wrong right now. It's super frustrating because it's like, because now you're screwed either way. So.
Right. I apologize. We were dropping frame rates like crazy.
Oh man. Laptops had enough, huh?
Right. I just stopped the recording because we record locally. Yeah, I thought that might be slowing it down. We're hardwired in.
Yeah,
Nothing's changed.
I'm watching. I'm like, I'm all jittery here.
Are you?
Oh yeah, big time.
It's not CPU usage either. Like CPU's good. We're just dropping frames. I don't know why, but shout out to Delo TX and Extra More. They're watching.
Oh, all right.
Not in the chat, but hey, we are we're halfway through, a little over halfway through. So if you want to hop in the chat, come on. But
yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. Yeah, there's nothing. You can't stop it. You could have a law book right there. Tell them this is it. You're breaking the law. They don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes into, they're human, and humans have a thing called cognitive dissonance. When you tell them they're wrong, they will fight against it.
Well, and it's
cannot accept
too.
it.
You don't want to be wrong. You've already said you're the authority.
Right.
And for a lot of people, I don't even know if a lot, but when some people have power and they use it and they're wrong, they don't want to show that they're powerful and can be wrong. They somehow think that puts you above them.
Right.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
That's why middle management gets shit on all the time, because they're wrong. They're like, no, I'm still above you. I don't want you to feel on the same level as me.
Right.
I don't care if I'm wrong. We're doing what I said.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of Vine, maybe TikTok. I think it was Vine though. They were lawyers and they would always say like, hey, you got pulled over. What do you do? Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Yep.
Call us when you're done.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
I hate the question. You know why I pulled you over?
Oh, you don't answer it.
No.
They want you to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, they want you to say, oh, it's because I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. And they're like, oh, well, that's not why.
But I'll write that down. That's another one. Thank you.
Yep. The other question they trap you with is how fast were you going?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you say, I don't know, they're going to say, why don't you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you say too fast, just say the speed limit. How fast are you going? The speed limit.
Yeah.
That's your answer. That's your only answer, because you're not admitting to any guilt. You're not saying you didn't know. Because I've seen it. You say, I don't know, and they go, well, you should know. Were you distracted driving? Why didn't you know how fast you were going?
Right.
Because apparently you're supposed to know exactly how fast you're going every time.
Yeah. Oh, I always drive the speed limit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that for real? Because I never do.
No, I always drive the speed limit.
Well, I'll say it again. One of those rules that I have, in the state of Michigan, if you lose a firearm, you don't have to report it lost, only stolen. I've lost all of mine. If they ever come knocking, they're all gone. I have no idea where they went. None of them.
They could be anywhere.
Could be
anywhere.
Sir, why is that dirt on your fingers? No idea.
Yeah, like I said, beauty living next to a lake. It's like
boating
living
accident.
on a lake. Yeah.
You saw that California one, right? The boating accident. You didn't?
What?
When they were taking away bump stocks and stuff, there was a guy who had a bunch of them, and they went after him, and he said, "I lost them all in a boating accident."
Is that where that came from?
I'm pretty sure it was something like that. Yeah, it was just the excuse.
I don't know where it came from, but it just seemed like to be a thing. Like it's
it was. There was a case in California where their claim was that it was lost in a boating accident. I don't remember what the firearms were or what it was, but there was a law where you can't have them, and they're registered. And they said, "Where are they?" I lost them in a boating accident.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess in that state,
I mean, I do take all of my firearms out on the boat to get some air.
Yeah, you have to.
To give them a little bit of adventure.
Well, if you don't, they'll shoot people by themselves.
Exactly. Right.
You have to. You have to take
quality
care of them.
Quality of life. Got to keep them happy.
Yeah. If not, they revolt.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
Yep.
That's why they're not even in the UK. The knives are revolting now. They're getting used too much.
Right.
They're using knives for everything. They're angry. The knives are angry.
Yes.
So the knives are
we got to do all the work around here, including all the murder. We used to be able to share the burden.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite arguments, and it's not a solid argument, when people were talking about any death and any kind of violent knife, gun, whatever, they were like, well, this is how many kill people. I'm like, have you looked at cars? Cars kill almost more than anything.
Yes. Yeah.
A car is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
It is a
5,000. Statistics on murder, like almost everything outweighs guns, but that's all they talk about. Like,
of any death.
Yeah.
Of any death. But it's crazy. Sure. In general, it's crazy.
But I'm talking about specifically like murder, like unarmed. I don't know I can't quote the exact statistics. So,
right.
But like, blunt objects like hammers and, knives. I mean, like, they're out there trying to present this narrative that guns are the problem. It's like guns are not the problem. Murder's the problem. I mean, like,
well, yeah, that's the big problem.
Yeah. Just gun is an easy tool to use. But so is, running them over with my car. So is, stabbing them 900 times.
In general, cars are a crazy concept.
Yeah.
It takes almost nothing to get a license.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably millions of people without licenses, and you're driving a 5,000-pound vehicle.
Right.
A chunk of metal that could just smash into anything.
Yep. With a simple flick of your arm becomes a weapon.
Yeah, a dangerous weapon.
Yes.
It's great. And we've seen it at recently in the last few years, protests, just driving through them.
Mm-hmm.
Or parades or whatever. Yeah. It's nuts.
Exactly.
A fact I have about cars, if I can find it, this was crazy, and you might know. I'm not a physics guy. Let me see if I can find it. So it was for stopping with cars. So 200 miles an hour is 4 times the kinetic energy of 100 miles an hour. It seems like double, so you just need twice the amount to stop.
Physics are crazy, man. They don't make sense.
And so it would take like on the expressway, if you're doing 200, it would take 8 times more energy to slow down than if you were just doing 70. So like 70 to 200 is 8 times the stopping distance you need, which is crazy. Like you wouldn't think about it.
Right.
You're like, oh, so it's the same as going from 50 to 100.
I mean, like if you've ever had to slam on the brakes on the highway, like like why is it taking so long to stop?
Right. But the numbers, they make them so simple. You're doing 50, it's 4 times the amount of energy to stop if you were doing 100.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird because you're like, oh, if I'm doing 50, it takes me 100 feet to stop. 100 would take me 200 feet. No, it's exponentially increasing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So even with that, with the energy of crashing.
Yeah. And that's super scary because like you're not like, so the other times you've had to slam on your brakes is probably you're driving through town.
Right.
And, not an issue. Like, skid to a stop. It's like, it's close, whatever. But if you had to slam on your brakes on the highway, like I had to do that once and like I had plenty of room. Like I see the person in front of me has done like slammed on their brakes and they're stopped. And so I slam on mine and I'm just like that gap is closing way too fast. I mean, like fortunately I was in, the right lane and there was no one next to me. So I actually pulled over and I did come past that person. Like I would have rear-ended them.
Yeah.
Because
they slam on the brakes.
I don't know. It was weird because like the way the highway was curving and it happened to coincide with, an entrance ramp and like and an exit, like all right there.
Yeah.
Like, and so a lot of activity happening in this section of highway that I don't know if they weren't paying attention or
something else.
What was going on? But I do know that like the flow of traffic just stopped.
That's
like,
to me. There's I share the theory. There's no reason to slam on your brakes on the expressway.
Yeah.
Unless there's a fatal accident happening, it is way more dangerous to slam on your brakes.
Right.
That is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
That should never happen. I drive in traffic, or I did when I was going to the office. So many times you come almost to a complete stop just because it was getting traffic. You should never be locking your brakes up on the expressway.
I did.
I know you have to.
Right? But that was the only time I ever had to do that. And I'm like, what in the world? Like,
that was the only time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wait till we go back to the office.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Full stop like 7 times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've stopped plenty of times, but like I'm talking like full blown.
Yeah. No,
like,
I'm telling you.
Holy crap! Emergency.
You will do that, and then you'll go back to 80, and like 10 seconds later, you'll be doing it again.
But see, that was normal traffic in Austin. Like you don't drive so close to people because of that. Because the flow of traffic is not consistent. It's not constant.
Right. The emergency I had was with your sister on our first trip together to Ohio. Great state, but. We're driving, and I think it's 4 lanes, and there's a guy in the all the way slow lane. We're in the fast lane, all the speed limits always.
Mm-hmm.
And we're cruising, and this car in the far right lane, immediate left turn. Like, full across all the lanes. The lane next to us has a semi, T-bones the guy, and then they both get dragged into the car in front of me. But this, I don't know, it must have been a medical emergency or something, because there's no exit or anything. He literally, just, you heard it just go, just straight over.
There was a bee in the car, yeah.
And Joy's on her phone texting, and I immediately just have to lock it up and move to the shoulder, because in front of me, there's a semi that just T-boned. I'm talking right in front of me. Come to a full, everyone's squealing. I can tell the semi at 80 miles an hour hit the driver door of this car that went over. So I'm like, there's nothing we're going to do. So we're at a full stop, and everyone's slamming, sliding everywhere. And I look, and there's a cop 2 cars behind us, turns his lights on. So I just went around the wreck and kept going, because I was like, this expressway is going to be shut down for however long now, and there's already a cop here, so we didn't do anything. But I'll never forget that. I saw it. Joy was on her phone, and so when she looked up, she was scared. And I was like, well, I saw this insane maneuver that happened.
Yeah.
That was the only, strict emergency where I don't want to also get into this pileup.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh, that was actually in your car.
Yeah.
The car you were driving. So it stops real good. It stops real good. It has new brakes and tires, though, so you're all set. Different set.
Yeah.
I saved your car, Jeremiah. You're welcome. You now drive that.
Yes.
Did you take the dirt road here today?
I did, yeah.
Well, maybe your tire light will be on tomorrow.
Maybe.
You fix your windshield wipers?
Yes, I did.
Did you do your cabin filter?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it smell better in there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. No engine light still?
Right, yeah.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I don't know what happened to that evap issue, but yeah.
I came in the middle of the night and fixed it for you.
Must have been, yep.
Came over, I slapped it on the back. I said, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, so now the only issue I got is a little golf ball,
hail everywhere.
All over it. Yeah. That's what happens when you park under an oak tree. So. Yep.
Well, thank God you don't have a Camaro still.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I had, I didn't have a garage, but I had covered parking.
Right.
For that. And I actually still have the cover for
the Camaro?
So, yeah.
Is that in case you get another one?
Who knows?
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's like a keepsake. You're like, I'll get you back.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Have you ever tried to look for your old car?
No.
By the VIN or anything?
No.
I looked up. The Corvette hasn't been sold yet, and the one I sold.
Yeah, I would like to do a Where Are They Now?
I have the first Toyota Supra I ever drove. I located it. Actually, the guy that's in Ukraine right now, he started something called the Supra Registry, where he's taking the engine VIN and frame VIN. So if you have both and give it to him, he adds your Supra to the registry, and he's tracked 90% of all Supras ever sold.
Huh.
And I was just talking back and forth with him, and I sent him some pictures because I had a picture of the VIN of this car, and he had the frame VIN, but he couldn't get a hold of the person who owns it for the window VIN, and I had it. And I sent it to him. He's like, oh, that was bought from the place you took that picture. It's in Chicago now. It's in a car collection. I was like, oh, that's sweet. I know where it's at. I drove it years ago, and I know where the car's at. I assume the Corvette's still up where we dropped it off at, and I can't find my Trans Am.
Oh, yeah?
It went to Ohio. I don't want that one back. I just would like to know what happened
tainted.
to it.
Yeah. Went to Ohio.
It was tainted. It was in an accident at some point, and not enough. It showed up on Carfax, but there was no repairs. But it had a weird discoloration in the door jamb.
Yeah.
Where it almost looked like maybe it was hit and then re-welded or repainted. It was just like a weird, almost like when oil spills in water, like a weird discoloration.
Just could have been a really bad welder.
Could have been, it was weird. I mean, the frame looked fine. I got under it, but the car had its quirks, and I don't want it back. Sometimes the window would roll down, sometimes not. Always when I went to a drive-thru, it wouldn't roll down.
Really?
Yeah, it was
just
weird.
Then?
It seems like it.
It rolled down any other time.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Oh, we're in a drive-thru.
Yeah.
No.
The day I sold it, I went to get Burger King in it, and I pull up, and the car's loud as is, and I pull up, and I'm waiting for it to go down. I just have to pull forward a little more, open the door. I'm like, sorry about that.
Yeah, when it was really, really cold recently, I stopped by McDonald's on my way to my game, and windows frozen. First time I tried it, because I'm like, it's cold out. I'm not going to roll down.
Yeah, why do you want to roll it down?
Go to order, I'm like, huh. Oh. All right.
You open the door?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always weird. I saw a guy at KFC in a Dodge Viper who got out of his car.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's so low.
Yeah.
He'd parked away and got out of his car to get his food and set it back down. I'm like, dude, why didn't you just go in?
Right?
Why didn't you just go in? Your car's so low, you just...
I got time for that.
KFC's disgusting. Like,
yeah,
man,
why are you eating KFC in a Viper?
He's got a 200,000. It was a one-of-one Viper, $200,000, and he's eating a KFC. I mean, maybe that's how he affords it. I don't know.
Eat KFC. I do not eat KFC.
Dude,
no,
maybe it's ours. Maybe it's just ours, but it's so greasy and nasty.
I do not like it. Not at all.
They used to be good. I remember as a kid having it.
As a kid, yeah.
It was crispy.
So as a kid, I didn't like the chicken, but I loved their mashed potatoes and gravy.
They are good. That fake ass mashed potatoes.
It's fake, but it's super
creamy.
Smooth.
Yeah, super smooth.
Yeah, creamy. Get like the nice peppery gravy. Yeah.
Yep. What I liked is when they came out with popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, that was mind blowing. I'm like, popcorn chicken. It just sounds good. It's really, just chicken bites.
Yeah.
But they're so easy to eat.
Yeah.
It's like, 3 chicken tenders? That's a lot.
I do like that. I do like popcorn chicken for the fact that it tends to be dry. And I actually like dry
and crispy,
chicken.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't like slimy chicken or
No.
I know like lots of people I want my chicken to be moist. It's like gross. No.
Like the chicken, I like it moist, but if it's skinned or fried, I want that crunchy.
Yeah.
I don't want the skin sliding off and all nasty.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you gross me out.
It makes my stomach turn.
Yeah.
I
hate slimy chicken.
You have the food. You're the one that doesn't like the food. You probably like the subreddit, we want plates. You seen that? I know Joy used to send it to us, weird, people, how foods are weird. Like the pickle, deep fried pickle and stuff, or PB&J pickle.
Yeah.
Remember when she would send you those to spike a nerve in you?
I know, yeah.
It's probably really hard coming from Austin, too. They probably had great food.
They did, yes.
And a huge variety.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Aren't they known as a food town?
I mean, they have they have so many food trucks there.
Yeah, don't they have food expos too?
I mean, when you have different events, festivals like that, food trucks will move from their
their home location,
permanent location, the lots they rent to these temporary
Austin
lots,
has actual there's a food truck the same day in that lot you're saying?
Oh, every day, yeah.
Really?
So they actually rent
it's the same one.
Lots,
so you find a food truck you like, you know where to find them. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's not all over the place.
No, they don't move around like they do here. So
okay,
some do, but for the most part, they just have a food truck because it's quick and easy to get set up and get your business rolling. But I mean, which is great because the variety of food right next to each other, it's you don't buy the whole your whole meal from one truck when it's done like that.
You can find other things.
You buy one item from here and one item from
I like the fries here. I want their dog there.
Yeah. Yep.
The thing I like about big cities, specifically Chicago, is I like their hot dog carts. I like the mystery of it. Always tastes so good. How long has
that been soaking in that water?
I don't know.
Hot dog water.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's just a guy. He wants cash. Does he wear gloves? I don't know.
Yeah.
It tastes great.
Well, he doesn't wear gloves, and he handles everything.
Right. It just tastes so good every time.
Even the ketchup and mustard, just wipe it on there. There you go.
And I don't know if it's because you're walking around all day and you're hungry, so it just tastes good. But street vendors, when you're at big events, it just somehow hits the spot so good.
Yeah.
It's it just always tastes better.
Right.
And you're not thinking about it. It's like a drunken mistake when you're not, you're not drunk. It's just.
Yeah, they used to sell hot dogs at Home Depot.
Oh, dude, they were good. Did you ever have them?
I did, yeah.
They were good. It was like an impulse.
That's the thing. You walk around Home Depot, you work up an appetite, you're on your way out, and you're like, yeah, let me get a hot dog.
Yeah, I'll have a hot dog. Yeah. And you don't question it. Now, if you're where do you want to eat, you have to think about an established place.
I'm buying a hot dog from a hardware store.
Yeah. You don't think when you're in that situation, that's how they get you.
Right?
You're they're just hoping. You're not asking questions. Where's your permit? No. That's how the little girls get me on lemonade. When I was cruising around the Corvette, I stopped. They were out there waving and smiling. I'm like, you know what? I am thirsty.
Yeah.
I don't know how you made this.
They hang out in front of VG's all the time, the grocery store.
Did they get you?
And I mean, not all the time. It kind of depends on, what mood I'm in and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I bought stuff I don't need, but hey,
I'm a sucker for the lemonade
stands. I want
to
support you in your efforts and give you a false sense of, understanding of how industry works. It's like, man, it's super easy. No, I'm just setting you up for failure.
I'm mean as like, if I pass it and you got your parents out there with you, I don't really want to stop.
Yeah.
But when it's just kids and they're like, there's no supervision, like the parent isn't running everything. Like these kids are running it. But when I stopped for that lemonade in the Corvette, it was the worst lemonade I've ever had. Ever. Ever. I paid way too much for it. I think they wanted $1 a cup for a tiny Dixie cup. I gave them a $5. That's all I had. I was like, they're getting $5.
Man.
For a cup of lemonade, and I sip it there, and I was going to like ask them how it was going, and it tasted so bad. I'm like, well, I got to get going. Oh. And I started driving, and as soon as I got around the corner, I pull over, open the door, dumped it out. I was like, man, that's bad. It just tasted like lemony water.
What sugar? Yeah.
Maybe they have those parents. I don't know. Maybe they're not allowed to have sugar.
Yeah, it's worse when like it's bad like that. Like, cause you get like the whole like lemon to water ratio wrong.
Yeah.
And it just man.
It's wrong either way. It's either tastes like nasty a lemon was dipped in your water, or it tastes like you're just drinking sugar. There's sugar at the bottom of it, and that's bad too.
Yeah. I mean, I like. I'll make lemonade sometimes, and I'll use like a particular kind of lemon juice.
Oh, you make it like from scratch?
It's an Italian.
Jesus, bougie Jeremiah. I use the Italian lemon.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have the measurements.
You have measurements?
Yes.
You making your own like simple syrup sugar, pouring it in?
Yes, it has to be the right, like, so you get it consistent every single time. So you
That's too much work.
Yeah, put the exact amount of sugar, the exact amount of lemon juice, and the exact amount of water in it.
Yeah, I get a glass of water, and then I grab a scoop of the Minute Maid, and I'm like, flump, flump, good. That's good.
Minute Maid, man. I used to drink that a lot. As a kid, I actually used to call that my summertime drink.
Your summertime drink?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Mio came out? You could squirt that in your water.
I don't think I ever used that ever.
But you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Man, my Graham, he used to just squirt it right onto his tongue. And he was like, it burns. It burns your tongue, but then you're drinking sweet juice the whole day.
Man.
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah.
It's an experience. There shouldn't be a hot ones. It should be like, first, squirt Mio in your mouth. Second, snort a pixie stick. Which I've done. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Fun. That's what happens when your school takes you to Roll-Rama. There's pixie sticks and sugar. Everyone's like, put it in your mouth straight, snort it, smell it. Oh, right. Man, everyone's trying to one up each other.
I used to like to dump the entire stick, in my mouth, and then like kind of roll my tongue over and just like grind it so that
squeeze it all in.
Like tears your tongue up. Yeah.
Yeah. We tried to see how many Pop Rocks you can put in your mouth. I was just one up each other. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Someone did
used to sniff hand sanitizer.
Really?
Yeah, so put that on, rub it up real quick, and get the nice burn.
A story. Graham and Kyle, who were both in my wedding party, were in 3rd grade together. We're in art class in school, and we're getting ready to do art, and they hand out rubber cement. And so we got it, and they're telling us how to unscrew it. We're halfway through the lesson. They go, also don't smell the rubber cement. So we're all sitting in a group, and we're like...
Well, I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, we weren't. We weren't.
Now that you mention it.
So we're like, why do you... And, of course, our conversations aren't... I don't remember how we talked, but we're like, why wouldn't we smell it?
Yeah.
Should we smell... So we start smelling it, and we're like, it smells really good. So now you got 3 idiots huffing rubber cement in art class because he told us not to smell it. We had never thought to smell the rubber cement. Yeah. But then once you tell us not to, we're like, well, maybe it's bad. And then you smell it and it smells good. And you're like, well, let's keep smelling it. Why would you tell us not to?
Yeah.
You can't tell young kids like that.
No, don't give them any ideas. Do something. Yep.
And it smells good to this day. Rubber cement smells awesome. Sharpies smell great. Gasoline smells great. Burnt rubber from tires. Race fuel. That smells really good. Yeah. We took Kylie to the drag strip, and she kept saying it smells real good. I'm like, yeah. Kill them brain cells. Yeah, it smells good. Smell that no catalytic converter, no exhaust, burnt tires. I'm like, breathe it in. This is good for the soul.
Let it get in your veins.
Yeah, little 4-year-old, you're going to love this. Joy made us bring earmuffs, which was good because, I didn't have that when I was younger. My parents didn't care.
Yeah.
You don't need lungs. You don't need ears.
Kind of thing you don't really think about, going to an event like that until you're there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, man, it's loud.
That's how it was with the machine shop. I didn't know it was going to be so loud in there.
Yeah.
I've been to probably 100 concerts and had no idea. And then once you're already in it and it's too late, it's like, well, what do I do now?
Right.
So I've got in my Amazon cart these earplugs that are hollow, and they have a sound filter in the middle of them. So they're only cutting out high and lows. And so next concert, I'll bring those and real earplugs in case they don't block enough. But a lot of people in the comments say they're a stagehand and use them for that because then they can still hear people talking and hear what's happening. It's not full deafening. But
yeah, send me the link to that. I want to take a look.
Yeah, well, I'll show you a picture real quick. There's a bunch of different brands. I don't know what the big brand is. But I will shout them out on here. Let's see. I have it in my save for later. They're high fidelity. So like you can kind of see that black section of it.
Yeah.
And they say it will only bring down the total volume by 19 decibels, which is a lot, but it's not all of it. But what a lot of people in the comments were saying is it's cutting out the highs and lows. So instead of at the kind of brick wall of sound hitting you, it's actually you're able to distinguish the instruments. You can hear it, and they said you can actually hear people talking next to you. It's just cutting out the frequencies that are going to actually hurt the little hairs in your ear. I'm going to try them out, but I'll also bring the 2-cent full ones just in case it's not enough.
Yeah.
If I ever make it back to the machine shop. If I do.
Yeah?
I don't like the venue. It's a weird... it's not big. It's like a weird standing area. To me...
The thing about it, is I have a kind of a weird relationship with them. I want to really like them just because I like the a lot of what they're doing, but the certain stuff I don't like the location for one.
Yeah.
I don't and there's that whole like you mentioned, the whole acoustics of the places.
The acoustics? There are no acoustics. It's a concrete building. There's no panels. There's no nothing. There are no acoustics.
Yep.
And they literally have about 5 of these speakers because these are directional concert speakers. They have 5 of them. That's their rack. There's no acoustics.
So, I mean, Portia works there and, Jordan plays there a lot. So, I've been there and I think he's got a show coming up there actually next week.
He's got a new song out today, right now, Avalon Black. Check him out, I guess.
Yes.
I can't speak. It's not my type of music. I don't listen to that. But if you're into would they rock?
Yeah.
If you like rock, check them out. But it seemed more like a bar to me going there. It seemed like there was a lot of people there just to drink, and they didn't care who was playing. Yeah. And that was... I wanted to be there for the show, not the drink. It was like a split crowd, you could see the people that want to be here, and you could see all the people hanging in the back, looking at the bar and talking to people. I wanted to be there for a show.
Yeah, I usually hang out in the back just for the fact of, not getting barraged by the wall of sound, like you said.
Yeah, it was bad.
And, but plus I can, be back there and look at all the band's merch.
Oh yeah, back. Yeah, okay. I've only been there once.
In the upper.
It would need. I didn't even want to go because it wasn't a band for me. So it would need to be a band that I really like to go there. Like if that's all they're going to.
Yeah.
I would rather go to the Intersection in Grand Rapids. I really like that venue. So we don't have a lot in Michigan that are really great.
So that's one of the things I do regret about my time spent in Austin is that I didn't go to any shows. I went to 2 to see the same band.
Which band?
It was Isley.
Okay. Do they have a lot of country there?
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm just throwing it out because it's Texas.
Yeah. But
comedy now. A lot of comedy in Texas now. A lot of comedians.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do improv yourself?
Did I do improv?
Have you ever done like improv?
No, I have not. No.
No? I feel like that would be something you're good at.
I don't know. Not really.
Like whose line is it anyway? I feel like you would excel in that.
Nah, I'm not really quick like that.
No?
I mean, not put on the spot, but like, my natural inclination for anything, for any conversation, always is how can I make this funny?
Right.
What's the funny line? Even when it's inappropriate, especially when it's inappropriate. But I'm always trying to, crack a joke, which is why I'm not funny.
Well, I mean,
none of it ever lands.
You've heard probably your own sister tell me at family events, like, and all my friends have said it. They said, Kyle, you draw the line and then you step over it. Like that's it. Because when I also want to be the guy that brings comedy to any conversation, but the way I do it is not thinking, like at all. Like, yeah, I just say it. Like, I'm not going to ever think about what I'm going to say. It's just going to come out and it's going to be good, right? Or it's going to fall flat.
Consequences be damned. I'm talking.
Yes, that's this whole podcast. As a reason why my own wife doesn't listen to episode 1, all right? Because there was no thinking. I just said
it.
Literally.
There it is.
Whatever.
It's out there.
Yeah. I don't even listen back. Like, I can listen back to our podcast and be like, this is a good conversation. Because I don't remember it.
Right.
I'm just talking to throw it out there.
I'm surprised I remember this. Going back to, I have a terrible memory. Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about. Because there's no plan. Like, I actually have to go back and watch it again in order to remember what we talked about, to write in the description what we talked about. So
for me, it's like I don't prepare coming into it, and as soon as it's over, I just forget about it. Right? Because it was just a conversation.
Yes.
And that's
which
the whole.
Probably,
that's why I
don't know how entertaining this is, but that's, like I said, we talked about this from the beginning. Like, the purpose of this, like, we're gonna have these conversations anyway, so just.
This is my therapy, Jeremiah.
Record it, yeah.
This is it.
But it's literally, that's what this is. It's literally just a conversation. So if we had people talking in the chat, it would be a conversation with them too. But
right. Yeah. So our frames dropped was at 2.7% when it was dropping crazy. Yeah. Like total for the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It stayed to 2.7. So whatever happened,
that was weird.
It's cleared up, so it must have just been. Maybe it was the recording. I won't record locally anymore.
Eating up the bandwidth. Yeah, I don't think we have to, because
I won't anymore. It's probably just slowing down the CPU.
I've been pretty consistent, putting over on YouTube. So
and we haven't had a problem with it being on Twitch like we did in the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's see. We still have the same people.
It's still kind of weird. Like, I'm watching the stream and it's kind of
a little droppy.
Yeah.
One of these days
you need to get yourself the better internet.
I think it's a laptop, really.
It's definitely the laptop.
It's definitely the laptop. So with that said, yeah, I don't think about anything. I don't tell my direct parents to watch because I don't want to be held responsible.
Right. I've mentioned the fact that I do a podcast. I have not told. I've told a couple people, like in my gaming table, like, what it is, but I have not advertised it.
Me neither.
So.
And I definitely won't to my parents. Mm-hmm. They see me as one person, and it's just all out here. It's like,
right. Oh, I guarantee you that, over the course of this whole thing, I'm gonna say things that I'm like, I'm gonna regret.
I probably already have.
I probably already have. Like, years later, I'll go back and watch and be like, why is it out there? Why did I say that?
If we're doing this in years and no one's hopping in the chat with us, we're just getting rid of the backlog. We don't need that.
Right.
We don't
clean it out.
We don't need people to see.
Why did hundreds of your videos just disappear, Joe Rogan?
I'll tell them straight up. We'll do an episode about why they're gone, and I'll say things I want gone immediately.
Right.
When we hit 100, we'll just go back and we'll pull our funniest. We'll just pull our most cringy clips. We'll just do a whole show.
There you go.
Of the cringy.
Yes, the cringe clip show. Yes. Yep.
All of episode 1.
So I actually watched. There's this channel, Papa Meat Canyon. Have you ever watched any of his cartoons?
No, you brought him up though on here.
Yeah.
Before.
So Papa Meat just did a video where he went to, like an anime and manga store, mm-hmm. and bought like like the most lascivious figure that he could find for like $200 this figure. And he's like, the whole time he's so super embarrassed, and he's like, this is like so absolute cringeworthy. It's like,
it's worth it.
Yeah, just for the content, really. I mean, like, now he owns that figure. He bought a Vegeta figure at the same time too, but yeah, it's like the cashier called him out on it too.
Really?
Because he's like he I guess he offered the fact, like, he's like, I don't know who this character is, and she's like, really? That's like you're paying $200 for a character you don't even know. Like a huge jump from Vegeta to whoever this character is, and I don't know who that character is, but he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to step outside of my comfort zone and expand my horizons. It's like
that's good.
Dude, Hunter, man, what are you doing?
We used to
it was funny. It was good.
We would buy things to see if the cashier would make expressions when we were younger.
Yeah.
Buy like the weirdest assortment. Like we'd buy hand lotion, bananas, and duct tape, and just like like make them wonder. But like to us, it's funny.
I've done that plenty of times. Just random stuff, like a great addition for any random items is a bit of super glue.
Okay.
So I mean, especially because you have to, at the time, I was doing all this, you have to show your ID everywhere.
Right. See,
like,
for
what
us,
kind of trouble you getting into?
We thought it was hilarious, but now that I think, like, 12, 13-year-old kid buying these weird items, they're just doing it to be like, it's not. You don't think they're doing anything, but in our heads, we're like, oh, they're gonna think we're up to weird stuff, and they're just like, these kids are stupid.
Yeah.
When I painted my last guitar, I went in and bought drop cloth, like plastic, and then I bought like big tub of bleach paint thinner, and then I bought tape because I needed tape to keep everything down, and then I went to the rope section where they have to cut you rope, and to make it all worse, I bought a hammer, and I didn't think about it until, like, I'm standing there. I asked an employee, I'm like, hey, I might need some chain or rope, can you cut it for me? And he's looking at what are my hands. I don't have a cart. And he kind of gives me a weird look. I don't think about it till I'm home. And I was like, this guy either one thinks I'm playing a prank, or he thinks I'm absolutely crazy.
Right.
And that's what I did. I set up a Dexter kill room in my garage to paint a guitar.
Yeah.
Hanging it from the ceilings. But I didn't think about the fact of what I'm buying.
Mm-hmm.
Like rope to hold a guitar up, all the sheets.
So, for the longest time, I actually did have, like if you looked at all the items that were in my trunk,
looks like a murder kit.
It's a murder kit. Yeah, it literally is. Like, we're talking like, little, like, single hand sledgehammer, hacksaw, gloves, tarps, rope. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Duct tape.
That's nuts.
Yeah, but that's just
survival stuff. Yeah.
Time, but not to murder people. But you can use all those items together to murder someone.
To murder people.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna end it there. Jeremiah's a murderer. Check his trunk.
It's never been proven, so as far as that's concerned, no, I haven't.
Yeah, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah,
guilty.
You're not a murderer unless they find the bodies. So
it's a good point. I always tell people I know a lot of people with a lot of land, but hiding bodies.
I know a lot of missing people.
Yeah. All right, Jeremiah, tell them who we are.
All right, yes. So that was episode 22 of Zero Intentions podcast. So thank you once again for anyone who stopped by the stream, gave us a listen. I'm Jeremiah. This is Kyle. As always, no plan for this. That's why we call it Zero Intentions. We just turn the camera on and have a conversation. So if you would like to join that conversation by typing something in the chat, we'd greatly appreciate it. We'd welcome it. We'd talk about it on stream. You could be part of this experiment, and if you'd like to see all of our old episodes, move them over onto YouTube. So there's a link in the description on how you can get over there, and we'd appreciate it if once you're over there to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff.
And if you can't figure out YouTube, we don't want you there.
I hope at this point everyone knows how to use YouTube, although my parents don't. So, well, my dad's actually, he watches a lot of YouTube.
Your dad? Yes.
Yeah.
Dad, he sends me YouTube videos all the time.
Yeah. So he's definitely on the YouTubes. So
it's on the tube use.
Yeah. So anyway, so all that's over there. You can go all the way back to the beginning, see every episode we've ever made, and yeah. So go and leave a comment over there and let us know how much we suck.
We'll get better technology eventually.
Right? It was rough in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. If you go back and watch the early episodes, like conversation's good, but yeah, lighting was bad.
That's all Jeremiah and my wife. They got better tech. So, she got the things we needed for lighting and cameras. Jeremiah set it all up.
So we're getting there. But yeah, so again, we're gonna say offensive things. I say offensive things every single time. But as we always say, if you're gonna be offended, you will be offended. Then we suggest that you zip it.
Good on them. Let's roll the ending. Yeah, we promise we'll get a better computer here.
It's someday. Yes. But at this point, it's really not like it's not a necessity for either of us.